off well. DRS, I imagine they're going to stick to their guns on Yasnaya, but then, again, they might adjust this based on this plane path. Kanina power out early, and they're not really going to be dissuaded from going around Milta.
No, that is their general spot, and they've had it pretty much all the time. Yesterday, hitting 47 points throughout the entirety of the day. Great stuff from them, in my opinion. If you hit that same average, you're hitting around about 150 on day 3 after that actually hits down. So, honestly, Kanina Power, if they keep playing the way they are, it's only going to get better for them, and I think that this is a team that just keeps like showing a little bit more. It's really nice. But look at this. This is DRS and 4AM both dropping Yasnaya, like I assumed that might happen here. 4AM, I really want them to pick up their feet though. They're actually going to go all the way to the north side, actually heading towards Kameshki. Interesting.
So it is a pretty big adjustment from south all the way up to the north here for 4 angry men. Power 888, they've gone for Korpai in Lipovka as well. They know the blue B's on here, so Lipovka is going to be open, and we'll be able to grab maybe a vehicle, a lot more loot. They can divvy that up. Rubdini pretty close to one of the players from Power 888 there, who has a forwards position towards Milta. Circle centers up, but it's got the majority of Sosnovka in it. Footballists have yet to make their way down south. Oh, what's that? That's a Kanina Power.
That is a Kanina Power for Rubdini now down. Power 888, a little bit too close for comfort for them. But yeah, 4AM up in Kameshki. Suk as that forward scout looking down towards Yasnaya. I wonder if they will rotate through here and maybe take a fight with DRS. Navi back to their old grounds over here in North George. This is a place they used to play all the time in EMEA. It's where they're most comfortable. It's also Execute's spot. Execute obviously not in this Super Weekend. Gives a lot of freedom to Navi. It would have been a very different story if Execute was in this one, because Navi would have been contesting for one of the spots that they know the best, and maybe would have had to change things up a lot coming into this like Super Weekend itself. But now being able to go over to North George, probably feeling a little bit more comfortable. What I don't want to see is this ridiculous blue zone play that we've seen from Navi before. Because look, when they get going, they certainly do get going. But when they're in the blue, something happens, they stop dead in their tracks. It's very odd.
It's like trying to put diesel in an unleaded engine, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Sputters and then just crashes to a halt.
And then it costs a lot to fix, and it's going to cost them points and even placements, and which means prize pool blank. So it will cost them quite a lot if they don't manage to keep it together. But they are a very strong team. We've seen them do it before. I'm sure we'll see them make a good run at things moving forwards on the day. RRQ, we saw them on our screens a little bit earlier as well. They've been basically uncontested in Pachinki during the entirety of this tournament so far. Class Digital Athletics a little bit out to the east side of things of Pachinki as well, just south of Potato Hill, splitting around some of the compounds there. Class Digital Athletics may be looking to play spoiler, but they're dead center in this next circle blank, and they have the option to go down south. And speaking of south, Footballist split 2 and 2, Sosnovka and Novo just pretty easy now. Loops, they are currently in South George crates.
Yeah, so we've seen Loops been very much on the eastern side of Erangel quite a few times actually, so it's interesting to see them here in crates at the moment. It gives them a much easier path into the circle. They don't have to just put the foot to the pedal and just blast their way in with the nitrous. Here it will be a bit more of a smooth ride for them going forward. Just talking of Navi, though, you mentioned fixing up the vehicle, but this is what they have to do here in this Super Weekend Week 3. They have to fix the fact that they weren't in the first 2 Super Weekends. Got to get some big points on board. Now, if you are here for the pre-show, and if you were, hats off to you, big kisses and all that, right? Look, you're a good person.
Virtual, of course.
Virtual kisses, of course. All right. They're 6 feet away at least. All right, but
minimum.
You will have seen that at the start of the day, we had the stacked graphic where we were showing that A1 had 116 points, I believe it was, total. 115, I was out by 1 point, and I'll take that anyway.
Your opinion's no longer worth it.
No longer worth anything. But that was from one Super Weekend, and it's put them in good stead here at 15th place. The fact they've only had one Super Weekend, they're still holding on to this position, which is a PMGC Championships final position, is really good. That's what Navi needs to have here, and they need to make it into the next one. So there's a tall task ahead of them, but we just need to see a little bit more. Alpha 7 yesterday didn't have too bad of a showing.
Striking gets away with absolute murder. Tumbles the vehicle, I think, about twice there.
It was evasive maneuvers.
Exactly. It just confused Godsend.
Do a barrel roll!
He did. He did do a barrel roll. Did you know that what most people think is a barrel roll is actually an aileron turn? A barrel roll is actually you have to go up and do a loop whilst also traversing sideways.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting little aeronautical fact there.
Thank you.
This is, sorry, an aileron roll, not an aileron turn.
Alien.
That's when you use the ailerons, you flip them, and you do a corkscrew.
The aliens grab the wings and make you do a barrel roll.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I said.
Very good.
Basically Independence Day.
That's crazy. I'd love to see that.
Great film.
Do we get Will Smith as well?
Sure, I'll give you That's hot.
That's hot. That's hot. What else is hot? BTR. Down in Farm. Usually this is where they like to take their wins from, and recently it's been a bit more difficult for them because they have to squeeze their way into the circle past Alpha 7, past RRQ, past Class. With this kind of circle, it's a little bit more kind towards the south. They're going to be a bit more chilled out, obviously just playing that usual playstyle where they hold out on the eastern bridge, try and just see what they can get done over towards Cleaner Power 888, hold them back. Bigatron though, 4am, you know, I'm not massively worried about them, which is why I didn't talk about them too much yesterday. And look, objectively, their days yesterday were bad. Let's very much...
Not good, yeah.
They weren't good. Like, let's not sugarcoat it anyway, but like, I think that for teams that are playing at this caliber, I think you can cut them a little bit of slack.
Sure, exactly. I mean, because as Max so rightly said, if you're playing against the top 24 and now the top 16 of those top 24 for the week, it's fair enough. If you don't do super well, I mean, obviously you're going to be hoping to get the best result possible.
Best results.
But unless you are, you know, Loops, I suppose. Well, even Bigatron and 4 Angry Men, for instance, yesterday, not so great for them. Two of the bottom scorers, I think 4 Angry Men even had the worst day on the day yesterday. Bigatron were in something like 10th overall. But Godsend continue their clash with Alpha 7 and lose Rolkis for their trouble. Vitu2K able to hold on face. Navi goes down and Godsend having a nightmare.
Yeah, Vitu2K just makes that look super clean. Picks up 2 kills for his troubles as well. And Godsend have to be sent packing. Interesting decision from Godsend. I'll give them that at the very least. Anyway, they will have to leave. Alpha 7 happy with that though. Now have very much control over Potato Hill at the moment. And Bigatron just now skirting along the coastal side. Outside of Sharkfin, over down towards the cliffs. To watch out towards Sosnovka and kind of hold this roadside coming into the circle itself. Navi now beginning to make their traversal down from North George into the circle itself. We'll head up Cube, as we know they like to do so often, scout out and go from there. Loops have made the Loops Raz. The lasso attaches itself to something in the middle, and then they just, you're in.
They throw it out. That's the first one. Double activation, boom, straight in the middle.
Exactly. Like Indiana Jones. Very good stuff.
Absolutely.
We love it.
He uses a whip, though.
Yeah. Can you lasso something with a whip?
Yes. Well, it depends what you mean by lasso. But actually, they did it on Mythbusters. You can whip like a branch or a beam.
Yeah.
It will wrap around, and it will be able to hold on so you can swing across.
So you can lasso something with a whip?
Again, it depends what you mean by lasso. Because I would say that that's like getting a loop around something and tightening it, right?
Right.
And then being able to move with that.
If you do that with the whip,
you know what?
Does it count,
Blank?
Does it count as a grappling?
You know what? You know what, Blank? I don't know. Why don't you find out that in your own time? Because right now we've got a pretty hard northwestern shift to talk about.
Apologies. Look, I was very interested. when the curiosity takes me, it really takes me.
Grabs you like a lasso, doesn't it?
It does grab me like a lasso. You know what this is?
Right, well, tell me about this shift.
Killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Just like this circle is bringing us back right to the game here. Alpha 7 now moving their way on across to the west side. Navi making a nice little skirt towards the western side. I'm okay with this.
Very fashionable.
This is very fashionable, pleated. And they will be in the circle just outside of Gaka. Good stuff from them. But it is DRS as well as 4am who'll be rotating against one another.
They've been chopping and changing their drop spots, but first of all, it's Zeus and RRQ taking a fight on the hillside. Zeus getting the first knock onto Ernie and controlling the ridgeline for now, but D2E with the nade. Starts to cook it up, sends it over the top. Zyol as well, sending them back. But unfortunately, it's D2E who lands first, gets the knock. So it's 1 for 1 on the knock so far. D2E goes down to a nice nade from Ablate. And they slow things down. RRQ does not want to continue this fight until they can get their players back up and healthy. A nade, ooh, goes a little bit too short there. Almost right on top of things. Ably sending out wide. Solo versus RRQ. This is a bold off angle to be found here. Actually might be landing a couple of shots. You saw G9 took a lick of damage. And now Zeus can regroup.
Yeah, interesting. So
this is right in the middle of the circle.
I do have some questions to ask after this fight, to you in particular, John. Okay. But let's take a look at what's going on for the time being. D2E takes a tiny bit of chip damage. He'll be okay. Ooh. More nades sent over the top. You wonder how much utility Zeus has left on board as they start to pick up the vehicles and leave RRQ secure in their position for the time being as the smokes start to bloom. Yeah. Alpha 7 taking a fight with Team Secret, though. At the same time, Vita2K went down. He was the guy that got the double versus Godsent earlier. 4 AM right now still making the long march across from the north side. They're still outside from the river, so they will have to cross at some point. Let's see when that does happen. But DRS, I think, have a bead on where they're coming from. We're just trying to gatekeep them for the time being.
RRQ seems like they want to go for round 2 against Zeus. Ziol in the grass will spot first. G9 goes down. They haven't managed to get the refrag just yet. Beer 11 looking for it. He spins around, slithers down, and wonders how on earth he was able to get that done. But G9 will fall. D2E very low. Ably still on this massive off angle here, Blank. If they push around this side of the hill, they might just lose it there and then. ICY as well repositioning, regrouping. They have the building as well on the north side. They disengaged the fight and took position in the circle. This is smart play coming out from Zeus right now, and RRQ don't know what hit.
God, RRQ are just being surrounded like hyenas from Zeus at the moment. It's pretty scary. Soon to be carcasses, but Beer 11 knows he has to do something big. Again, D2E going down. RQ cannot catch a break. Beer 11 has to make a clutch play here, but ICY would have spotted him. That will have removed the element of surprise, and still, you can see down towards the bottom, Abely, he still has the off angle.
Look at this heads-up repositioning from ICY. Zeus on one today. They're doing really, really well so far in this fight in the micro, but they're not quite converting it. Not being aggressive here, Blank, and maybe they just want to secure those points. Beer 11 gets zoned out by a nade. A little bit long, but it's a smoke in the end. Will not be doing any damage there. Molotov nicely placed by Beer 11. Stops ICY going for the push on the right, but on the push on the left you need to worry about, my friend. He does go down. ICY picks up the kill.
This fight from Zeus has been so incredible. Circle centers up on this fight as well, so whoever comes out on top of this one will have a nice position going forward in the zone, so it is now a really important fight to win. Zeus can start to encroach onto RRQ. So many positions for RRQ to have to deal with, and now it's a 3v4, which means it becomes extremely difficult. 4 AM fighting with Abrupt Slayers on the northwest side too.
Secret Jin coming in from the northern side. Will crash into the top of this fight. RRQ now being pinched on 2 fronts. Zeus are playing defensive for the building that they have on the north edge of these fields on the south Blank. They don't want to push up. They don't want to take the hill because they know that they need that compound. However, it looks like they might try and run out for the backup. They might have heard Secret Jin approach the fight and know they need a couple more players in play. But for now, the hills are quiet. Kengzo, though, gets spotted. Oh, just able to make it to cover. As the rest of Secret Jin roll in. Ziol takes the fight with them, watches up the hill, makes sure that RRQ are not pushing, but it's around the side and they've left the compound, they've given it to Secret Jin, who have leapfrogged that position. Maybe a little bit too over-aggressive. I was just talking about it, Blank, and it seems like they gave up that ground.
And now RRQ can start to leverage this spot. Again, this is what RRQ does so well, is that they're very, very patient as a team. Nades are starting to come through, but again, Zeus have thrown so many that I'm starting to question how well they'll be able to hold this position even after this fight concludes. I just don't think Zeus has been taking the time to actually just push this fight. I think they know RRQ's scared, but they're worried to go in on this one.
They tried to do 2 things at once. 1, they tried to hold the building that is now owned by Secret Jin, and 2, they tried to fight with RRQ. They needed to choose. As soon as they got that first kill, they needed to choose one, and they didn't choose either, and now they've been leapfrogged by Secret Jin, and RRQ have the high ground, and actually not a terrible position.
No, this ridgeline's really nice going forward as well because it protects you pretty much from the eastern side where you're seeing Team Secret, Alpha 7, Godsent, loops down the way too. So RQ can kind of isolate this fight at the moment. And now Zeus just kind of running around a little bit, confused with what they want to do with this position. Because you see 4 AM, they instantly left that fight they had with Abrupt Slayers. Lost a player in the process, I believe, in Zinher. It's going to get difficult though. Might be indeed. If they have the vehicles though, they should be able to crash across Alpha 7 and Godsent right now in Pachinki.
Zeus are starting to move up towards Team Secret. It seems like they want to fight on everyone, on every single corner. This hillside proving to be even more occupied than the one they just left.
Yeah, always uphill though. Ice shots. There's some decent bullets heading down the way. Just peppering Zeus for the time being. Aboli wants to get into another one of these off-angle positions where he's done so much before, but Mattoy opens up the fight with a knock onto Zjol, and now Team Secret's going to do what Zeus weren't able, push the fight.
Not just yet, they get in the vehicles and they'll figure it out. Secret Jin down the hill, they spot that out, scouted on the compound. The circle hard shifting south means that all of these teams will have to break down. If Zeus had held that compound, they would be in such a good spot, Blank, but they, again, stayed on the hillside. We'll see if they're able to make it work from this position. Zjol getting res now, and ICY has the off angle. Let's see how they are going to opt to move south. As Godsent leave, DRS leave to the east of them from Pachinki. You can see all of these teams starting to move. Navi have a really strong spot on the south edge.
Yeah, this is a classic case of tunnel vision though, which is the big issue. And like you said, Navi have been able to just slowly work their way down onto the south side, which they know is clear, which is really, really good stuff going forward. And they have some ditches and hills to play around, whereas the rest of the circle is just marred by this field, which is very difficult to play in. It's going to be a lot of snake play towards the end, and Navi have good control. DRS are right next to them though. Navi hitting a big shot onto Mafia and Ninja to start this one off. Again, we've got to really hammer this home, is that DRS is in direct contention with Navi, both with their first Super Weekend this weekend. They don't want either of these teams to get too many points.
Loops tried to send all the way central, and they've had 2 players knocked. Only Federal now standing for the squad. Might be looking for some reses, but we'll have to wait and see. ICY, he's so close to ice shots right now, Blank, and Yuhai. They're both just out of sight, but not out of mind, certainly. They start to take some shots down towards the teammates. Don't think he's stepped up just yet. You can see 2 players from Zeus down the hill as well to their right. Zjol pulling all the aggro right now, and ICY biding his time. This is brutal. This is brutal. If they step up to this ridgeline, there's no way that they expect someone so close.
Yeah, you've got the DPS and ICY Zjol on the tank, just using the taunts down the way of the hill. And Team Secret, they are certainly hard on that target beneath.
They've spotted Reeves in the fields. And this is twice now that Godsent to make an open dash and actually seemingly getting away with it. But there we go. ICY stands up and shuts them both down. Mad Toy down the hill. And there's only 1 player on this res, which means it is going to be a lot slower. Rex looking to get his teammates back up. As there comes the crash. Ronin hops out of the UAS, looking for the shot. 2 players alive now, needs to be careful. Wanting to tag them up, and that's Yuhai down again. Rex low as Ronin crests the ridge. ICY is back, and 3 players for Team Secret down. Mad Toy tries to get away in the Darcia. Do they spot him? Do they take the shots here? Zeus all but wiping Team Secret.
Team Secret just asking Icy, why would you do that to me, with a wonderful shot coming through from the side? And you set it up perfectly, John. He was waiting for so long. We got Loops here, going for a quick jump shot onto Clad Digital Athletics. Difficult scenario for them. And this is what I'm saying, is that now we're getting into this final circle. There is so little playing field for anyone to even try and make a move. Navi has to kind of cripple some of these teams coming into the circle though, because look, with Navi's position, they need to take advantage of it now, where they have such a strong ridgeline to play against, because it's not guaranteed that the circle is going to go down here.
Mad Toy managed to get out with his life, and the circle goes towards him, so lucky break there. Loops with all 3, did manage to get them up. We saw the replay there on the player in the shack for Class Digital Athletics. Ernie down in the bushes, but his teammates not so lucky. G9, D2E, both have been knocked. Sook peppering the fields right now, salting the earth behind them, trying to stop anyone sprouting up and causing them trouble.
I really like this movement though from Navi though, John. They've immediately moved up the ridgeline to try and clear the angles on the south side. Again, this is what I was talking about. It is not guaranteed that they get that circle shift. So they know they need to move up towards a position where they can control the south side. Because really, the only open playing field here is right on this little triangle on the south side. The rest is a field finish. All these teams want to wait as long as possible to move in. You can see BTR all the way on the eastern side taking their time. They know they do not want to get in any range of any of these teams. It could be so easy.
Or the nade to center. Thnks does a lot, but the nade inside will do a little bit more to flush out footballers. However, the knock comes through early without Law on the angle. Alpha 7 are trapped in the smoke. A nade to take down Raum. Center Thnks drops the death nade. Will be able to take him down. It was dropped early, and Swaggin trying to cross the fields will fall as well. Raum low as the nade pops out and actually tags onto Vitu2K. Raum crawling around and he just rolls out. Lutz, you madman, gets shut down, and probably rightly so there. Loops able to get the final kill. 2 teams eliminated.
Yeah, in the meantime, Navi still trying to clear the south side. Team Secret, that is MACTH1 now out in 13th place. Bigatron know they now need to make their move. They still have vehicles though. This is one of the most important parts of a field finish, is making sure you have those impromptu cover on board in terms of vehicles, and BTRs are pretty clean at the moment in terms of stability and not being damaged.
Kanina Power eliminated in the middle of the field. They were trying to hide out, but it was not to be. Abrupt Slayers as well, all the way on the western edge. Classical Athletics, they've been in their compound for a while, and they're going to have to leave on the southwest. As RRQ, Secret Jin, and 4 Angry Men all vying for position. RRQ only 1 player left, and Loops are taking punishment from across the way. Zook just continuing to keep this damage going, but Cosmos from Secret Jin just playing in that third party. It's a standoff.
It is this northwest side which is most criminal at the moment. You've got RRQ, Secret Jin, 4AM, and Loops who are going to be gatekeeping this fight too. Classical Athletics just about being able to make it out of this one, but Navi now moving the circle. As you can see, they'd look to start clearing the angles on the southeast side, but it's BTR who they'll be going up against, as well as Power 888. Right now, Navi is pincering that team, and that's them now out.
Yeah, Power 888 just get wiped. Matic has been knocked, and Luxy gets knocked on the back as well. So 1-for-1 on the knocks between Navi and Bigatron. If they want to continue this fight, the circle shifts towards them, so they have that in their favor. The northwestern side becoming all the more hectic. Ryzen crawling forwards.
2492.
Will be looking to try and pop a shot. Sneaky in the grass, but he has been seen. Old Boy deals with it. There's an aid in through the window. Old Boy, watch out. Oh, he hasn't seen it. He doesn't know. Oh, he steps outside. Just in time, potentially. I don't know if the cook was there, but doesn't get taken down. Classical Athletics has spotted Bigatron's position as well. Navi can look to try and get into the circle, and with Zeus chiming into the fight, it's really bad looking for Bigatron right now. Zuxi low HP, pops the smoke.
Quick replay on Old Boy with this beautiful nade that cleared out a lot of the members from Power 888 straight through the door there. Stops can't do anything about it. It's beautiful done, and at the same time he's getting knocks. Old Boy is absolutely rocking in this game.
Wow, fantastic stuff there from Old Boy. Navi with their leader at the front. Bigatron 2 players. The southeast side is theirs, but 4 Angry Men and Secret Jin both trying to push through. RRQ went down in the middle of that blank, and Classical Athletics, they're trying to slowly encroach towards those hay bales that they've got in front of them as cover.
So unfortunate for Ryzen as well to go down this situation. He had the M249, which is arguably one of the best weapons in a field finish like this. Tixi will go down, but Microboy is next. Zuxi down to 50% HP. Tixi will get flushed out now. 3 players left for Navi, but they control this southeastern side so securely. And oh boy, knowing for another quick nade here, it could be the end for him.
Zeus going very, very low as well from Navi across the way. Zuxi low, last player standing as you say. Zeus down to 2. Loops on 3 and 4 Angry Men on 3 as well. Nobody on a full 4-man squad right now blank. So it is the raggedy battle here in the fields. Everybody getting picked off. Razy very low. Looking to try and heal up, but Navi continue the pressure on the northern edge. 4 Angry Men eliminated.
Old Boy currently on the 7-7 damage there, and by God, they have been lucky with these circles, but the skill of being able to clear out these circles on the south side has been impeccable coming through from this team. Now just Zuxi remaining. BTR is going to try and go as far as possible, but Old Boy is having one hell of a game here. 11 kills now for Navi.
5 for Old Boy as well. Southeastern side is theirs. It is controlled. The drop will go towards their edge as well, which gives them more cover to play around blank. Zeus gets spotted out by Loops across the way, who've been hiding in that shack and crawling out across the field, but Meku shuts down Federal's position and looks to get the flush as well. Will land the final bullet, and that's another point for Navi. 12 now on the game. And with DRS going down so early, this is an excellent streak for them. They dominate this circle right now. Classical Athletics looking to move. The vehicles are there for Navi.
And Old Boy's already scouting forward. Will have position within the circle. Razy just about finds that shot across onto Gold and now loops down to one player remaining. Zeus on ICY remaining, but Navi, such a good spot. But it's Digital Athletics that I won't count out just yet. Silas, Solus, Razy, all incredible players in their own right, but they are outside the circle and it's looking rough.
That's so difficult there. Loops do get taken down. No hard cover for them on their edge of the circle again for Navi. They have their position. Zeus, they've managed to make it very far. They've impressed us with their team fighting skills here, Blank. They managed to get a top 3 spot with 5 kills on the board. A really good result from them. Classical Athletics, though, probably the only team looking to try and challenge Navi here.
If Navi finish this game out with just 2 more kills, they will have the exact same amount of points they scored over 5 games from yesterday in just the 1 match now. And this is what we're talking about. They want to have a weekend like A1 did, and this will drag them up to 60 points. They will be halfway of the way there already.
Well, I mean, if they get that chicken dinner, they need to convert it first. Meku looking to peak right now, but Zeus goes down. That's eliminated. Another couple points guaranteed in the bank. That's 2 extra, jumping up from 10 to 12 on the off. But that's 25 points at least for Navi as Razy goes down. And they're looking to pick up more kills as time goes by. He's out in the open, but his teammates are trying to cover it off. Razy, though, not long for the world. Old Boy picks up yet another. Keep on the pressure. 2 players now for Classical Athletics. Meku makes a dash. Gets taken down. Silas out in the blue. Has to stand up and make the run. Matic not getting suppressed on that angle. And Old Boy not spotting it either. Silas, half HP. Well, a little bit more than that,
There
actually.
has to be a trade here, John. There has to be. Otherwise, we're into a 2v2. And this is possible now. Meku tries to get his way across. And Matic is, in fact, going to go for the res. Silas stands up in this situation. But Old Boy looks like he's had it down.
The DP with the final bullet there will be able to get the first flush.
Oh no,
this is
you
brutal.
are not.
Oh, he knows where he is as well. Needs to go out wide, drops out behind the hay bale. The rest of his team just securing the other kill. No chance of a res here as Solus behind the hay bale. Last standing for Classical Athletics. Nade to drop the shot in behind. Keep him up against the wall there. And the nades continue to fly through. That one's going to be on target. It's got to be there, but Old Boy knocked in the meantime. Another nade, and it's the blue zone to do the dirty. Classical Athletics taken down, and Navi strike into the second day of their first Super Weekend, Blank, and my, what a game to start things off for them.
A huge one. 15 kills on the board, 30 total points. So as much as they scored yesterday in the 1 match right now, our angle.